Well, hi, folks. This is going to be a fantastic interview with a good friend of mine, Chrissy Smith. Now, this Leading Your Best Life podcast today is especially talking about the Swim for Empowerment. And Chrissy and I are doing this swim solos to Rottnest in 2024. Chrissy, welcome aboard to this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's great.
Pleasure. Well, you and I know each other because we swim together in the pod squad. I know that at the moment you're training super hard in a swimming squad as well. Is that right?
Yes. I'm with Elena's eSwim squad, and we train at HPF Stadium 3 times a week at the moment, and then extra sessions with strength and conditioning in the gym, nutrition workshops, the whole lot.
Fantastic. I can hear a little accent there, folks. So let's just get into this. Chrissy, tell us a bit about your background and how where swimming has fitted into your life to date.
Okay, so I'm from Rotherham in England. It's a small town that had a lot of the coal mines. So around the 80s, they all got kind of shut down, and it was still a great place to grow up, but you could tell that things were kind of deteriorating around there. There's not a lot of jobs going, and but very early on, probably before I could walk, I actually started swimming lessons, mainly from my mum pushing me. She can't swim herself. She's never had any of those opportunities, and she's actually really scared of water. When she comes to visit here, it's quite an event to get her into the ocean and things like that. So for me and my sister, she really wanted us to never have to go through that, and really just pushed us to swim. And we loved it. I joined the Rotherham Metros when I was probably around 10, 11, and was swimming for Rotherham in the Metro squad. And then we're training around, I think it got up to 5 times a week, but I was also at the time really into music, played the trumpet. And so I had to make a choice whether to continue with music or the swimming. My parents, I think, were getting bit sick of driving me and my sister around everywhere. So I actually, went down the music route and carried on playing trumpet in the local youth orchestra and band. And then swimming it was just this great thing that I didn't even really think about. I would just go in to the ocean, or I'd go into the lakes and I'd just swim, and it never really, it was just so natural. It was when I was at uni. A few of my friends there hadn't had the lessons in the background that I'd had, and I could sort of see then, I was like, oh, it's actually, this is a real privilege that I can do this. And then again, it was just kind of for fun, and it's really just recently, mainly through actually the pod squad, and a friend of mine, Jo, she invited me to the Cottesloe Classic in January this year. And I was a bit nervous, so I did the 400-meter swim, and like that, I was absolutely hooked. Just loved that area of the ocean, and I tried to do all the open water series that I could. I did the Swanee Classic for the 2Ks, and then I've just been kind of training in the pool through the winter, and now I'm just like, let's go for it. Let's really push myself and see how it's, do the Rotto solo.
Do the Rotto solo, mate. Excellent, excellent. And what got you to say you'd like, because I said to people who would like to support and get involved in the Swim for Empowerment and help the 3 charities that we help, Meeting for Minds, Youth Futures and Neuromuscular WA. So what triggered you to say you want to get involved and get behind those charities in the Swim for Empowerment?
Really, the muscular dystrophy is really, it runs in my family, all through my mum's side. Pretty much every second male has it. Both my uncles have it. It's actually one of the big reasons I don't have a sibling, because around that time, I think back then you didn't really know if you couldn't test for it, or they weren't really sure. My mum wasn't sure if she was a carrier or not, so she didn't want to have a 3rd child because of that. I think maybe things are a bit different these days, but it's really affected my family quite a lot. My uncles, sadly, my Uncle Joe, he passed away earlier in the year from it, and really the last few months for him, was mainly just, he really was just in his bed that had been moved to the living room, because they lived on a double-story house in Manchester. And by the time, like, all the planning permissions and working through everything to try and make the house livable for him, it just never happened in time. And we ended up having to, like, do these makeshift things where we'd create a bedroom for him in the lounge room. Just the whole house is not set up for it at all. Yeah, so he passed in January. And then my other uncle, who was helping him and living with him and watching him go through all this, also has it, and he is now he's been in hospital throughout the year. He's had a few operations now because he can't eat anymore. He has a bag for nutrients, and he really struggles to swallow. And they're just also susceptible to a lot more kind of flus, and he's had pneumonia several times. And just trying to make it a bit easier for him, I think, like being able to try and modify the house. It's still actually exactly the same as it was earlier in the year, and we just those kind of things it really hits home, where I just realize if I wouldn't want other people to have to go through it, I think.
Yeah. And as you know, the reason I did the Swim for Empowerment and set it up was because my dad, every second member of my family, also has myotonic dystrophy. So, my dad, my brother, my uncles, my cousins, and in both our cases, you, me, we've won the genetic lottery in that regard, and that we don't have it. So in my case, I said, I want to do whatever I can to use my able body, as in I'm able to actually do this swim, because clearly my dad or my brother or other members of the family could never do anything like that. And as you say, that latter part where swallowing and all sorts of things get very, very difficult. And let me tell you, Chrissy, the interesting thing is, we got T-shirts done last year. This year we have T-shirts, we'll have trucker caps, but the flag, I sent you the artwork for the flag, because I can tell you, when that flag's on the back of the boat and you're halfway across going, what the hell am I doing? Why am I could be home watching Netflix right now. You look up at that flag and go, why am I doing it? I'm doing it for those 3 charities, mate.
Yeah, 100%. And I've ordered that flag, and I'm going to fly the Manchester United flag.
Tell us about that, the Manchester United flag.
Well, I'm trying to find a way as also to find the boat when I'm out there. And both my uncles were lifelong Manchester United fans, and that's just kind of a bit of a homage to them, so that when I'm finding it really difficult, I can just see that as well, and just let them know that I was doing this for them. Beautiful. Really. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, we say emotion gets us into motion, and clearly this is an emotional thing for both of us. So we're asking people, first of all, to donate some money to support the swim, because obviously these things cost money to do, but at the same time we want to raise money for these charities. And at the same time, if there are other swimmers out there who want to use the swim as a vehicle to do good, we say don't just be good as in your own personal fitness, but let's do good for people who are not as able to do these things as us, and raise both awareness and raise money for these 3 fantastic charities: Meetings for Mind in the area of mental health, and people with lived experience in mental illness, Youth Futures for those youth homeless, youth falling through the cracks in our education system, and single mums as well. Just a lot of great work Youth Futures do for the youth of Perth and WA, and then of course neuromuscular WA, which is the area that's super close to our heart because of the genetic lottery that we've won, but others in the family haven't won. So folks, if you're either a swimmer and would like to help with this, use the logo, raise money. We can show the system, use our fundraising system, use the 3 charities to, give yourself motivation, wave the flag, have that flag on your boat, use the T-shirts, use the trucker caps. Who knows, we might go crazy and do coffee cups or something as well, but get that message out there. And Chrissy, so tell me, on a weekly basis now, what's your training? What are you doing on a day-by-day basis to prepare yourself for this channel swim at the end of February?
Yeah, so it's a big challenge for me. Like, yeah, probably the furthest I've swum nonstop in the ocean at the moment is really about 2.5 Ks. So, done more in a pool, but it is a different environment out there. So I am really trying, I've said to myself every single day, I've got to do something that helps me get to Rotto. Even if I'm not in a pool swimming, I have to do some kind of stretches or workout before bed, just anything I can do every single day. Nutrition's a really big thing, really watching what I eat, not drinking at the moment. And then, so 3 times in the pool, Monday mornings, Thursday evenings, and Saturday mornings, pod squat on Sundays. And as we get closer to Christmas, I'm going to increase the pod squad for sure. Probably try and do some of the earlier sessions as well, and really get the Ks up in the ocean is my big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, same here, same here. I'm swimming every day, 2Ks at the moment per day. And then last weekend I did 6K on Saturday and 4K on Sunday. And I'll do the same this week. And then I'll boost the mileage up. And of course, we've got those 10K swims at Coogee. Those 10K, well, you'll need to do the qualifying 10K swim if you book that in.
Yeah, so the Coogee, it will be my qualifying swim. I've just arranged a paddler this week, so we're going to catch up on Saturday and talk through a game plan for it, try and get a couple of practice swims in beforehand. Because the goal is to finish it under the 4 hours and 15-minute time cap.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, well, I'm doing it as a training swim. I mean, I'm going to essentially repeat the same training program I had last year, which was do 1 10K before Christmas and another 10K in the January. Again, from a training point of view, I can tell you the Aldi banana custard is a great bit of food to eat. My system was I think we in the actual channel swim, I think we stopped every 20 minutes or half an hour. I've got it all written down anyway, which I shared with you as well.
Yeah,
and then every second stop was a food stop, which was squeezing in the baby food from Aldi, and every second food stop was the banana custard. So I was like a performing seal. I was just living for the every fourth stop getting the banana custard in. It was like, oh, there's another banana custard, you know. So there's a whole system I can share with you there, including the tip of drinking slightly warm water. Don't drink cold water to keep your core temperature up as well. So we're both looking for boats at the moment, aren't we? So you're looking for a boat and I'm looking for a boat. And people have said to me, ideally it's under about 20 or 30 feet. You don't want a 40 or 50 or 60 foot boat. We want something between about, you know, could be under 20 foot, certainly not more than about 30 foot. So folks, if you've got a boat and you want to be part of it, and donate those services to us, you know, we'll certainly pay costs or whatever you want to make it happen. But we'd love you to support us boating wise. And you say you've got a paddler at this point? And
so I put a
person on the boat to help you with food and stuff.
Yes. I put a post up on the Scarborough notice board and on Facebook, and a lovely lady, Veronica, answered and said she's more than keen. She's done it a couple of times.
Fantastic.
Happy to do the whole 20K. And she's also an ED nurse. So that's the person to have on board.
Yeah. Fantastic. And just on that, what do you work-wise, profession-wise, what do you do, Chrissy? You said you went to uni and stuff. What did you do at uni, and what kind of work do you do?
Oh, so I studied geology at university in London, and then I've been an exploration geologist for the last almost 15 years now, and love the job. It's taken me all over the world. I've worked in Chile, Argentina, Liberia, Mali, Serbia, and then I came to Australia about 10 years ago. And then I've worked all over Australia in the NT, Queensland, New South Wales, South Australia. Haven't been to Tasmania yet. And then around Perth and also Northern WA.
Goodness gracious, rocks. Because there's rocks in all those places. Yeah. And tell us about that surfboard behind you. What do you got there? What is that? Tell me the story behind that surfboard.
Oh, this is my pride and joy, the surfboard. So when I was between jobs, I got made redundant in the last a couple of downturns ago, and the company I was working for at the time, they also pulled out a sponsor in my residency. So I was kind of struggling to find a sponsor and stay in the country at the time, and I realized that if I moved to Victoria, I could get state sponsorship. And so basically I sold everything up in WA, bought a van, and I drove to Victoria, and I lived in Victoria doing odd jobs and living in this van, and basically trying to get the residency. And you stay there for 2 years, and then after that you can travel again. And as I was traveling again, I found this absolutely amazing spot called Angari on New South Wales coast.
Yes,
and
beautiful.
a guy there, Popey, who shapes surfboards, and I just saw that one outside his shop, and it was probably more at the top end of my budget, but I just fell in love with it and bought it, and I've had the best waves of my life on that thing. It's just like, it's the best. And I love how bright and colourful it is. So it's not actually a paint job, the top bit. It's a sarong that he was experimenting with and glassed into it, and then the shape of it, it just glides. It's yeah,
Popey, good work, Popey. Well done, mate.
yeah. No, I love it.
That's a good story. Beautiful. So you love the water, obviously, between the surfing and the swimming. Who would have thought a coal mining town would produce a surfer and an ocean swimmer, eh?
Yeah, well, that's it. Because Rotherham is probably about as far away from the ocean as you can get in England, but then England's so small that you're always a little bit near it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, look, folks, if you want to support us, there's so many different ways to do it, not the least of which boat, paddler, just join us on our Facebook page. We'll be sharing stories as we keep training, but we'll be putting up the donations page and link very shortly. But spread the word, the Swim for Empowerment. Again, if you're a swimmer and you're swimming to Rottnest, be it the Channel Swim and or the Port to Pub, because I'm going to do a duo with my son, so we'll keep the charity running for the Port to Pub as well. Please do support Chrissy and I and anyone else that joins us, and look out for the t-shirts and the flag and the trucker hats and anything else that we decide to put the logo on, because these three charities really are super worthy charities: Meetings for Minds and Youth Futures, and of course Neuromuscular WA. Chrissy, is there anything else you'd like to share or tell us about before we wind up this chat?
I think I'd just really like to say thank you to yourself. Like, I came across Swim for Empowerment last year, donated and bought the t-shirt, and it's just really great to see people like yourself doing these things, and then also enabling people like myself to get on board and help in a way that, and it's fantastic. And yeah, thank you. Really,
my pleasure. No, Chrissy, it's a win-win situation, mate, to have you on board as well. You know, two heads are better than one, that's for sure. And we'll create a momentum. I like the Paul Kelly song, "From little things, big things grow." So we'll see what we can create here. I have a hoax character I call Professor Mark Morehouse, and he says, MAD, go mad, make a difference, step out of the comfort zone, make a difference. And we say, if you're not making a difference, you're taking up too much space. So here you are making a difference, and certainly in memory of your uncle and all of my family, it's very moving, the whole thing. Mate, thank you so much. And folks, please do get behind this Swim for Empowerment. Stay in touch with us. And Chrissy, I'll see you in the water very soon.
Yeah, you will. See me this weekend.
Okay, mate. See you then. Thanks for being
on.
Thank
you so much. Thank you.
All the best. Bye.
Bye. Bye.